Toruviel, an elf from the Blue Mountains, hiding on the plateau alongside the rest of her people who had not yet joined the Scoia'tael. Life on the plateau was hard, and as such, Toruviel's group relied rather heavily on the help of a Sylvan named Torque. One day, however, Torque was found and attacked by Geralt and Dandelion, causing the elves to capture the duo, and while they awaited the arrival of their leader, Toruviel and the other elves mocked the Witcher for daring to interfere with their theft of food.
"Hit me without any excuses. I've seen how you like it. Let off some steam."
The elf straightened. "I've already let off steam on you while your hands were free," she said. "I rode you down and swiped you on the head, and I'll finish you off when the time comes." He didn't answer. "I'd much rather stab you from close up, looking you in the eyes," continued the elf. "But you stink most hideously human, so I'll shoot you." She proceeded to kick and punch Geralt as he lay there, bound. Unfortunately for her, she underestimated the Witcher. For her taunting, her punches, and for breaking Dandelion's lute, Geralt headbutted her directly in the face so hard he hurt his own vertebrae crack. The elves would have killed him for that if they weren't finally interrupted by their leader, Filavandrel. Filavandrel, who informed Geralt that Toruviel was sick, with what he did not specify. After the affair was handled and Geralt and Dandelion released, Toruviel handed Dandelion her own lute, a beautiful, slender instrument of inlaid wood and an engraved neck. She seemed sorrowful and dejected, perhaps resigned to their fate. But eventually, Toruviel would join the Scoia'tael in their fight. She was part of the same commando as an elf named Yavin, and they were often out on patrol together. On one such occasion, Toruviel was the one who spotted a lone rider on the road and alerted Yavin, who had been dozing off. Toruviel didn't feel like shooting him, noting that murdering civilians on the road wasn't what fighting for freedom was about. Yavin disagreed, and then shot that lone rider, which, without their knowledge, would be the reason the war exploded. Later, when Milva encountered a Scoia'tael group on her travels, she ran into Toruviel again as well. She had only just led Toruviel's group to Broccolon, the Forest of the Dryads, to heal, and already they were on the move again. "Essa krisa, Sorka," Kieran Abdiav said gravely. The bandage swathed around his head was stained with oozing blood. "We had no choice," Toruviel repeated. She dismounted cautiously, using one arm in order to protect the other, which was still bent in a sling. "News had come. We may not remain in Broccolon when every bow counts." "If I had known," Milva said, pouting, "I wouldn't have bothered. I wouldn't have risked my neck at the ford." "News came last night," explained Toruviel quietly. We cannot leave our comrades in arms at a time like this. We cannot. Understand that, Sorka." We next find Toruviel after the Battle of Brenna, the battle Nilfgaard had lost. Toruviel and what was left of her commando were roaming the roads now, wounded, hungry and cold. When they came across a caravan of humans, Toruviel approached. A human girl on the cart recognized the hunger in her eyes and held out her bread towards her. At that, the other humans also started sharing their food with the other elves, as if by magic, and the elves, like never before, were crying in gratitude, choking on their sobs. During the events of The Witcher 1, Toruviel had joined a new commando, led by Yavin this time. She hides in the outskirts with several other elves who had fled from the war, still hounded by White Rayla, who was out for revenge on all Scoia'tael. When she is eventually found, she takes a village hostage and demands they let her and her elves leave. Geralt can choose to side against her here and kill her, but if he aids her, he can continue to help her during the rebellion in Vizima as the elves continue their fight. Although it is not known what happens to her after Geralt leaves her there, the elves continue their fighting soon enough either way. It seems that war follows where the Scoia'tael tread, and it is unlikely that Toruviel will ever live a calm life again, unless she can stay alive long enough for her people to leave this realm.
I'm sure you're not surprised, but we're not doing skits at the end cards today either. I am so sorry. My Patreons are getting titles today. I hope you appreciate those too. Walguy the Illustrious, Robertson the Enlightened, Lochmuin the fierce, MJ Coolsta the impressive, Septic the cattist, Mike Zweers the unrelenting, Adrian Packle the impeccable, Ray the fortuitous, Freeman the wise,